A client of mine recently won a nine-figure contract, but as a subcontractor. This is how we did it. Hey guys, Ricky Howard here. Thanks for joining us at DoD Contract Academy podcast. Now, today I'm going to focus on some things I've got a lot of feedback on. So, pretty active on LinkedIn, and I thought I'd start sharing some of the strategies that have gotten the most feedback, some of the stories that people are the most interested in. This one has to do with a client that we had, but they're winning through subcontracting. I think a reason that a lot of people are interested in this is because we think about being a prime contractor with the government. We're the ones writing the proposal, going after the bid, but you'd be shocked at how many companies just focus on subcontracting and how you can make a lot of money selling to the government as a subcontractor. Now, there's pluses and minuses, of course. As a prime contractor, you're in control, but you're also the one responsible at the end of the day for everything. You're the one also writing the proposal. You're the one that is on the hook for all of the accounting and making sure you're getting paid and all of that. So as a subcontractor, it can alleviate some of that. And a lot of people, a lot of companies get their start in subcontracting just to get past performance. Further, I think just a good point, even the big companies, they're constantly priming or subcontracting. They're going back and forth, just depending on what the government is asking for and what they need. Just to go through some of the reactions I got here and some of what I was saying. The main point is don't overlook subcontracting when selling to the government. Now, like I said, big companies often will also sub or prime depending on what the government wants. It may not be what the government wants. It may be how the government's going to put somebody on contract. You might not have a specific contract vehicle that the government intends on using, like GSA or NASA SOUP or something like that. So you could partner with a company that has that contract vehicle. That would make them the prime. That would make you the subcontractor. Now, whenever I'm coaching clients, and that's what we do at dodcontract.com. So you can head over there to dodcontract.com if you're interested in coaching. But when we're working with our clients, I want to make sure that they're not making the biggest mistake when they're going about subcontracting. And that is a lot of companies that are new to this will think, hey, when they find out that public sector or US federal government purchases are public, then they can go out and they can find the companies that are actually on contract. They're like, oh, I'll make a list of these companies and I'm just going to blanket carpet bomb them with email campaigns to see if, hey, do they need my assistance? They're already on contract. I'm just going to reach out to them and tell them that I provide cybersecurity services or advertising or accounting, whatever it is that you do. And they'll respond back to me. Now, if you send a million of those messages, I'm not saying you're not going to get any responses, but you're most likely not going to get any responses when you're taking that method. It's not the best use of your time. Could get lucky, but you're essentially, what I call that is begging for work. You're begging for work. And honestly, I think you're wasting your time. Now, this is what you actually want to do. You want to put in a little bit of the work. You want to be strategic. You're finding an opportunity early. I've been through this talking about sources SOTs, going through acquisitions forecasts, but find a sources SOT or an RFI for something that you do. Maybe you do 80% of it, half of it, but something within that sources SOT that you can find on sam.gov is something that your company does. Now, you can start generating a response to that. What I always do is I reach out to the office, maybe ask some clarifying questions. What that does for you is now you are in communication with that office. And this is really important because what you're going to do next is, let's say that this is a opportunity with the US Air Force, since that's my background and I'm a little biased, right? So you're trying to sell to the Air Force. Maybe it's Lifecycle Management Center. And now what you want to do, and let's say I said advertising, so we'll go with advertising. Now you're going to go out and you're going to find companies that have sold to the Lifecycle Management Center in the Air Force in advertising and do some of the things that maybe you don't do, but are included in the sources SOT. And the sources SOT is just the government saying, hey, who can do this type of work? Do you have any recommendations for us? I have entire podcasts and YouTube episodes on what that is. So we're not going to get into that today. But the point is, you want to reach out to 5 or so companies that have past performance selling the thing to that specific agency, in this case, Air Force Lifecycle Management Center. Now, instead of a cold email where you're begging for work, what you're actually doing is you're saying, hey, this is my company. I'm in communication with an Air Force office or the Army office, whatever, whoever you're talking with. I'm in communication with them about an upcoming opportunity. We can do part of the work, but I could see that your company could probably handle the other part. Do you want to get on the phone and talk about this upcoming opportunity? Now, what you're doing is you're bringing an opportunity to them and you're telling them that you're in communication with the office. You've done the work ahead of time. They're going to be much more likely to respond to you and say, yes, let's get on the call. In fact, I would say if you're doing this right, 3 out of 5 should be saying, yeah, let's jump on a call. And the 2 that aren't, at least one of those probably just isn't getting your email, like it's going to spam or something, or your calls. And you can always call them. So you're going to get a better response if you just call someone also, right? So now you've brought an opportunity to them. Now, if I'm sending an email, I would just say just a couple of words of caution here. What you don't want to do is you don't want to send them a link to the opportunity because now why do they need you? You still have the relationship. So they still, if they're above board, if they're interested, they'll set up a meeting. But I don't send that out. I just tell them I have an opportunity. And I might tell them it's with an Air Force office or whatever, and I'm in communication, but I'm not telling them, I'm not sending them the link. I'm not telling them the exact opportunity. I give them some generalities, right? It's regarding advertising. I can see you've done this in the past. If you want to talk, let me know. That's my tip for this week. And by the way, that got a lot of reactions and that got a lot of questions and comments. A lot of individuals. That's probably one where it was a less opinionated as far as I wasn't getting a lot of hate when I posted that, although I have gotten some hate with some of my opinions on government contracting, but that's okay. We all have our approach. This is mine. This is a very powerful way of winning contracts, winning subcontracts. So if it's something that you want to get our help with, you can always go to dodcontract.com and set up an appointment to discuss our coaching program. Now, that's a high-end coaching program. So it's not free and it's not necessarily cheap, but what we will do is generate results for you over time with our coaching. And you can see all of our reviews. We have over 120 reviews posted on the website, dodcontract.com. We're helping clients and doing really well. And you don't need our coaching program. You can listen to the podcast. You can listen to the YouTube channel. We have a book out that can help you find leads, turn those into meetings, build a pipeline. It's called the Government Contract Planner. You can go to Amazon.com and pick that up. You can get the digital version of that really cheap. Right now it's under $10 and just print it out and use that method for approaching government contracting and doing really well. Hopefully what we're providing you guys is helpful. If you have anything you want us to cover, let me know. And that's the podcast for this week. Thanks for checking in and we'll see you next time.